Should I get up and run? Stop dead right before it had begun. I was the morning dawn, and you were the hope chasing me through the air. You loved like you didn't care.
Well, I guess it's more like New Bike Week instead of New Bike Day. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time visiting, please subscribe. And if you like this video, hit that like button. So my new Giant 2020 Rain Advanced Pro 29 Build 1 was delivered to me earlier this week by a local bike shop. So just like most places, all the storefronts for bike shops are closed right now, but they are still offering services to their customers. So if you want to drop off your bike for servicing, you can do a curbside drop off. And if you want to buy something, you can order online or via phone, do the same thing, head in for a curbside pickup, or they'll also deliver to your house for free. And that's what happened for me. They delivered my new bike to my door earlier this week, and I'm pretty happy about that. So why did I decide on the Giant Rain? Well, over the last year or so, I was saving up for this new bike. I was putting a little bit of money away each month, and I hadn't really decided on which bike I was going to get yet. I was just going to research over the year. So I kept going to one manufacturer and I'd decide, yep, this is the one I want for sure. And then a few weeks later, I'd switch to another one and say, yeah, this is the one I'm going to get for sure. And eventually I got to Giant, and what it came down to for me was they seem to have the biggest bang for your buck. And that's not surprising. I had heard this in the past from a lot of people. They would tell me that, Giant, it is the biggest bike manufacturer in the world. And because of this, they sell a lot of bikes. So they're able to offer their bikes at a little bit lower price than what the other manufacturers are able to do, especially at the boutique brands. So this is the first time the Rain has been offered in a 29-inch wheel set, so they had to redesign the frame. So they've steepened up the seat tube angle to a 76.8 degree angle, and they have slackened out the head, so that is now at a 65 degree head angle. So this particular model, the Advanced Pro 1, it offers a Fox Performance Elite 36 in the front, and in the rear shock it is a Fox DPX2. So the front is 160 mils of travel, and the rear is 146 mils of travel. And it also offers a SRAM GX drivetrain. That was something I wanted on my bike as well. I didn't want to go with the NX. I wanted the GX. That seemed to be the best bang for your buck there, I think. And any of the models over the GX just seem to really skyrocket in price, and for me, that's just not worth it. So the brakes on this are the SRAM Code Rs, and a lot of the other components on this bike are Giant branded ones. So the dropper post on this guy, this is the large, is 150 millimeters of travel, and it is the Giant contact switch. So this is the only piece that I'm maybe going to switch out early. I'm not sure how this thing does after a lot of use, but that was the only thing that I was thinking I might switch out later with maybe a one-up dropper or go with a Fox one. The wheels are the alloy Giant wheels, the TR1s. I think that's going to be fine for me. The carbon ones just push the price up quite a bit, so that wasn't something I was really looking at. The pedals I put on this one, it doesn't come with pedals, so I put on the one-up components, aluminum flat pedals. I think those ones are going to work out for me. The handlebars are also Giant. These are actually quite wide. They're 800 millimeters wide, so that's the widest handlebars I will have used, so I'm going to see how that works out for me. I think the largest I've used are 780, so another couple centimeters doesn't sound like a lot, but it might be, just add an extra bit there that might make it a little bit awkward for me going through some narrow passageways on the between trees and whatnot. But we'll see how that works out. I think it should be okay. So is this too much bike for the Canadian prairies where I live? Yeah, probably is. But the reason I did go with this bike and not just a pure trail bike is my family does make yearly trips to the mountains. We're fairly close to the mountains and we go there every year. And I wanted to have a bike that I could use here and I could also use in the mountains. So this year we were planning on going to Jasper. We go to Jasper every year. And then we were also making a stop at Panorama. So Panorama Resort is a ski resort in the winter, and in the summer it opens up as a bike park. So I was looking forward to taking this bike there and taking it into the bike park and really getting a good use of the bike there. I was looking forward to that. My kids were all signed up for downhill lessons and they were really excited for that as well. But because of the situation this year with COVID-19 and all the lockdowns, it looks like that trip's going to have to be postponed or probably canceled this year. So that's really disappointing that I'm not really going to get a chance to take this bike out to the mountains. Maybe in the fall, maybe hopefully things have opened up a little bit more. Maybe I'll take a trip out there alone and just do some rides and some trails, in the area. So that's the reason why I ended up deciding on the Rain and not just a pure trail bike. I wanted to have something that I could use here and that I could also use in the mountains and not have to buy two separate bikes for the two different occasions. And I think my wife's going to like me a lot better for not having bought two bikes. So this is also the most expensive bike I have ever bought by quite a bit. So I didn't want to end up buying a bike, kind of in that mid-range price point where in a few months I was just going to want to upgrade it again. So I figured, you know what, I'm just going to save my money, buy the bike I want now, and not have to worry about getting upgrade-itis. I could just have the bike I want now, and I don't have to feel bad about wanting to trade it in and buy a new one right away. So I think I'm pretty happy with the decision of just deciding to spend that money and get the bike I want now. So some of the other bikes that were in my short list that I ended up not getting were the Trek Fuel EX 9.8. So that's a pure trail bike. And the reason I didn't go with that because I wanted a little bit longer travel, like I said, for when I go to the mountains. Plus the price was quite a bit more than what this Rain Advanced Pro 1 was. I think it was about $1,300 more. The other one I was looking at was the Trek Remedy 9.8. I really like that one as well. And that one had everything I wanted. The only difference was, again, price. That one was probably about $1,400 more than what I ended up paying for the Rain. I also was looking at the Kona Process 153, the carbon version, and I really liked that bike. It had everything I wanted as well. The only thing was the rear triangle was aluminum instead of the full carbon like I was going for. And the price, again, was about $800 more than what I ended up paying for the Rain. And I really liked the YT Jeff Z29. That one probably was the one I had decided on right before the Rain. But the reason I didn't go with that was just because it is a direct-to-consumer, and I was really worried about that. I didn't know how it was going to work out with warranties. I've read about horror stories about people trying to get warranty stuff through these direct-consumer stuff, especially I think with YT in Canada. I've heard that it doesn't quite go as well as you would like sometimes. I really like the bike, and maybe in the future. I was also worried about, just servicing. I didn't know how I felt about buying direct to consumer and then taking it into a local shop for servicing. Yeah, you're paying for the service, but you know what? In this time when all these local businesses are having a hard time staying afoot just because, they have to lock down, shut their doors, try and deal with this COVID situation, I thought, buying a local bike, especially an expensive bike like this, from a local shop was probably the right thing to do. So I'm happy with that decision. So those are the main bikes I was looking at, and I ended up just going with the Rain based on, like I said, bang for your buck, and it gave me all the components I wanted. Plus I got to support a local bike shop, and I think it's going to be a pretty good decision. No regrets. I'm really looking forward to taking this bike out on the trails. I'll probably take it around the block here a few times, and this looks like it's dried up. Some of the snow's melted. It's fairly dry out there right now, so I'm going to take it out and just get at least feel for it. Maybe try and get my suspension dialed in and get ready to go. So when the trails do open up and when they're ready for people to ride on, I'm able to just get out there and do it. So if you haven't subscribed yet, take a moment, subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to put out new videos fairly regularly. It's a little bit harder now because I'm not riding because of what we're dealing with right now. But I do hope to get these videos out, at least something out, fairly regularly. Also, if you like this video, hit that like button, and if you want to get notified when I put new videos out, hit that notification bell as well. So now that it's spring and the snow's finally melting in the Canadian prairies, really looking forward to trying out this new bike and not having to imagine what it's like to ride it on the trails while I'm rowing on my row machine or working out in my gym. So really looking forward to getting this new bike out, testing it out, and I'm really looking to, progress a lot more in my riding skills this year. And I just hope this whole COVID thing gets under control so we can actually get out there, ride the trails, and maybe my trip to the mountains can be saved and we can actually get out there maybe a little bit later and still do some riding in the mountains this year. So with that, until next time, just take it easy.